Hello and welcome to News 500. I'm Stephen Allen.
And I'm Zoe Lyons.
And these are the headlines.
Time runs out on Iranian talks. Deal to limit nuclear weapons melt down.
Scientists give a man night vision so he can find his way to a round table.
Nigerian President Goodluck Jonathan loses re-election bid and changes his name.
What's wrong with being called Jonathan? A study has shown that immigrants coming to Britain during the coalition declined by more than 100,000. Even people from war-torn, poverty-stricken countries look at the UK and think, actually no, that's fine.
Go on, do the accent.
Actually no, that's fine by the way.
Studies suggest parents find it hard to spot child obesity. Little tip, move that massive bucket of chicken and jug of cola and there it is, sitting right in front of you, slowly marinating in its own lard-like buttery sweat.
Figures show one parent is arrested every day for leaving a child at home. You'd think that parent would get the hint by now.
Last week we launched our appeal for you to send us your topical jokes.
This one comes in from Sam, age 6.
Knox knocks.
Who's there?
Amanda.
Amanda who?
Amanda Knox. Because she's back at home.
It's not very funny, but her name does sound like Knox.
Amanda glad she didn't kill anyone!
Go on, do the accent. Scientists found that secondhand smoke could make you lose your teeth. If you blow it in my face, it will.
Katy Perry said her ideal first date would involve a helicopter. Well, most of mine have. Well, an air ambulance, but you try and make the best of it.
A man has died after being pulled from a pool at a 007-style Pussy Galore swingers party in Hertfordshire. Michael Barrymore was apparently not a guest at this party, so he's off the hook again. Jaws and Oddjob, however, remain at large.
Former 007 Roger Moore has claimed that Idris Elba couldn't be James Bond because he's not English. Well, not politically correct. I mean, he does have a point. Where could that Bond go? Not Russia. Supervillains would be like, where is this Mr. Bond? Who? You mean the black guy over there? Oh, yes, there he is. I see him now. You like the accent?
It's a good accent. Yeah.
Thank you. It's the only accent I've got. That's got me a very, very long way. 007 has been played by several minorities, Scottish, Australian and Welsh. And speaking of the Welsh, now seems like a good time to crowbar in a look at their manifesto with Ria Lena.
Thanks, Zoe. Yes, I spent last night going through the recently released Welsh manifesto of Plaid Simba.
The Welsh manifesto? Do you speak Welsh?
No, but does anyone? I thought it was like Klingon.
Rarely used.
Fictional.
So the Welsh really suffered with the austerity cuts?
Yes, as you can see from page 3, they had to give up on some basic amenities like gravity.
No gravity on page 3. Sounds like it could have gone tits up.
Tits. Leanne Wood, head druid, is hoping to really unleash some of Wales' economic potential if successful in this next election.
What economic potential?
I'm not sure. They could charge to get out of Wales.
Okay. So talk me through some of the manifesto. What policy is this?
Well, from what I understand, it's a policy to allow emergency responders to eat lunch and doctors with iPads to play more Candy Crush by stopping kids playing in front of trains. Iva, the engine was just a show, kids.
Are you sure that's what it says?
No, but Google doesn't have a Welsh translation engine.
Okay. Any controversial issues?
Rather worryingly, on page 11, they outline their policy working for a fairer Wales. Bit UKIP-y, if you ask me.
Well, are you sure they're referring to skin tone?
Put it this way. The first picture of anyone of colour in the manifesto is on page 29, and they're handing the couple their car keys.
Any other points of interest before we go?
My favourite is this human interest piece on page 12. As you can see, they're referring to this man as a threatiant, which is a Welsh word for a cross between a threat and a deviant.
Isn't that one of their party members?
Precisely, a politician, a cross between a deviant and a threat.
I think that line actually means finance and taxation.
That doesn't make me feel any less threatened.
Right, well, thanks for that, Ria. Will you be voting for them?
Are you kidding? They're called Plaid Cymru and their party colour is green. Would you give them power?
It's Plaid Cymru.
Oh, it's Russian. And the same to you, comrade.
BBC boss Tony Hall has received death threats for ending Jeremy Clarkson's contract. Strange, because it's not the most upsetting decision made at the BBC. That was cancelling Balamory.
Still not letting it go, eh?
It had so much more to give. And the way it ended like that, where it just fades out halfway through a scene.
Former footballer John Barnes claims he can't get a management job because he's black. Well, where was that excuse when you were rapping for England, Barnesy?
And now a joke sent in by Gavin, aged 5.
Knock, knock.
Who's there?
It's the pilot. Let me... And finally, hundreds of lives needlessly ruined by one selfish man. Zayn has left One Direction. Poor Zayn, suffering from exhaustion after touring around the world with the band. It's truly awful, especially when you consider his only consolation is youth, good looks, a beautiful girlfriend, and a fortune of millions.
We have so much in common. That's it for this week's News 500, the week's news in 500 seconds.
Ish. It's 500 seconds ish. It's a really good accent.